What's up, sports bettors? Happy New Year. If you don't have a resolution yet, this is actually pretty serious. This is my resolution. My resolution is quit drugs, quit alcohol, and bet on sports more. Bet on sports more. Quit drugs, quit alcohol, okay? I'm being very serious. But anyways, what we're going to be going through are some plays that I have for the NFL. I know it's New Year's, it's a holiday, but there's no off days, right? What's crazy about sports betting is this market is always open. There's always good bets. I mean, it is literally almost New Year's. I'm sitting here in my apartment and I just got four extremely profitable bets where books are asleep at the wheel. So let's go through them, right? And again, what's so crazy about sports betting, I say this all the time, is all of these bookmakers, they set lines independently. So for the exact same, asset, whatever you want to call it, for the exact same bet, sports books will have different prices. So as an example, you can see the Buccaneers, they're minus 172 on Betway. 888 Sport has them minus 195. DraftKings minus 190. MGM minus 200. So all these bookmakers, right, they set lines independently. So sometimes there are pretty big pricing discrepancies that you can take advantage of, which is a pretty easy way to make money sports betting, right? It's the easiest way to make money sports betting is you look through the market and you hunt for value. You can see, like, it's literally almost the ball's about to drop and the Colts are jumping from plus 205 or from plus 200 to plus 205 on DraftKings. Lines are always moving around, and as a sharp bettor, you're constantly hunting through the market, following the line movements and looking for value. So the first play I'm on is on Caesar Sportsbook right here. Over 7.5 first quarter total points, which you'll see right here, in 49ers versus the Raiders. This is the highest profit margin bet on OddsJam. So you can filter, OddsJam by profit margin or date or whatever you want. I mean, there's a ton of different filters, but typically what I sort for is just every league. I want to see all profitable bets. So typically I just have all leagues selected and then just the sports books you use. Like currently, well, actually I'm in New York now, but I was in Virginia, but you can just filter for all the sports books you're currently using. So the top profit margin play is OddsJam essentially just like looks through the entire market. Every sports book, if you think about all the different stuff they have that you could possibly bet on, like this is one game. This is literally just Colts Giants. These sports books are posting millions of odds. Not millions, millions of odds total. Each sports book is probably posting 50,000 to 100,000 odds at any given time. Is as a sharp bettor, you're like, yeah, I mean, Caesars, they can't keep everything in check. So what we're doing is what OddsJam's doing is it's hunting through the market and trying to find, those rare few betting opportunities where you actually have an edge, right? Where the bettor has an edge, not the sports book. Sports books are used to making their vig, making their juice, just taking bets from recreational bettors who don't know anything about sports betting, anything about odds, anything about data. So what OddsJam does is it just takes all the odds in the market and shows you where the most profitable plays are mathematically, right? So the first play we see is first quarter total points over 7.5 in 49ers Raiders. Is it a random bet? Sure. But I don't care, right? If there were value on Raiders 49ers money line, that's what I'd be betting on. The value is on the first quarter total points. You can see we're getting plus 130 on Caesars. DraftKings has this plus 110. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, has this plus 118. And Stake has this plus 104. So looking at the 1, 2, 3 other data points in the market, this OddsJam column, we just copy real-time odds from Pinnacle. So this is just kind of the exact same as Pinnacle. It's very clear that Caesars is a pricing discrepancy, right? We're getting plus 130 on Caesars. DraftKings has this all the way down at plus 110. Pinnacle plus 118. Stake plus 104. And this play has a 2.29% profit margin. So I locked it in. And another thing to kind of like note is, right, the way that sportsbooks make money, for example, Pinnacle, is they make money by charging the juice, the vig. They're not making money by saying, hey, when you place a bet on Pinnacle, you owe us $10. That's not how Pinnacle makes money, right? The way they make money is by charging a spread, right? Here you can see there's 18 cents of width in their market. That is their profit margin. They assume people are betting on the over 100 to win 118, and people are betting 136 on the under to win back 100. So they're baking in this spread called the vig or the juice. So what OddsJam is showing you is those rare few opportunities where you're actually beating the vig, beating the juice. So this is one of the plays, right? Looking at Pinnacle's market, the fair odds with the vig removed would be plus 126 on the over, minus 126 on the under, which you can see here. So the no vig odds column, this column just takes a market consensus of what the odds should be without the vig. And then you'll notice you're always getting value, you're always getting improvement to the no vig odds. The true odds or the fair odds are plus 124. We're getting plus 130 on Caesars. That's a good bet. That's a play we want to be on. So this is the first play I went with. Now, the next play is on Prize Picks, right? So Prize Picks is a fantasy platform, but regardless, I'm betting on it. And what's interesting about Prize Picks, and you can see right here, we're not going to go into it too much, but I have Metcalf under 5.5 receptions in this, Prize Picks entry is for a 5 or 6 pick flex. This fantasy site is essentially giving you the implied odds of minus 119. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Pinnacle. Like all the data points are telling us this line on Metcalf under 5.5 receptions should be minus 150. So all the sports books are telling us Metcalf under 5.5 receptions should be heavily favored. And we're getting it minus 119 on Prize Picks. That seems pretty good, right? So that's a play we want to lock in an entry. So I did. Next, we have Woods under 27.5 receiving yards. Again, I'm just following the value. That's what sharp sports bettors do. You follow the value. I'm not waking up and saying, oh, I want to bet on the Colts spread. No, I'm waking up and saying, okay, there's, hundreds of sports books posting odds on the NFL. They all have tens of thousands of odds on the NFL. I mean, again, you go back to Caesars, right? And you look at just, this is one game. How much different stuff and crap you can bet on is you don't need a play on every game. You don't even need a play on, any sport, right? There's NBA, there's college basketball. So as a sharp sports bettor, I'm just saying okay, I'm going to let OddsJam show me where the value is. And what you can see right here is Woods under 27.5 receiving yards. You can get at plus money on Caesars, in Bet Online, a very sharp offshore sports book, and Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, a very sharp offshore sports book as well. They both have the under favored, right? Bet Online has, the under favored. They have the under minus 118. So worse odds than the over. Minus 110 versus minus 118. So the under is worse odds. So Bet Online, right, what their model is telling you is the under should be favored. And we're getting plus 100, right? We're getting plus money when Bet Online and Pinnacle are telling us the under should be favored. So that's the second play I locked in. You can see both here. I hit them both for 250. Then I have a play on FanDuel, St. Brown over 7.5 receptions. And I say this all the time, but hopefully it doesn't log me out. So you can see right here, St. Brown over 7.5 receptions. I bet this for 169.50. So my play's right there. And a lot of people will ask oh, why did you bet, that amount of money? And what you'll notice is well, FanDuel just logged me out, but you'll see here, they have max wagers when you're logged in. So if you're a sharp sports bettor, a lot of times they'll cut down your max betting limits. So for St. Brown over 7.5 receptions, I was only able to get down 169.50. And then for the next play, Dolphins Patriots under 19.5 first half total points, I was able to get down like $800. So these betting limits are kind of random. Typically what I notice is they allow me to bet less on player props, but more on like spreads and totals like this play. So I locked them both in. And again, like there's nothing complicated going on here. I hit all of these plays for the max I could on FanDuel. And on Caesars, I just took 250. And then here's our profit margin. So the profit margin of this 49ers play is the highest, 2.29%, as you can see right here. So I took all these bets. Here's the profit margin in a percent. Here's our stake in dollars. So to get our profit margin in dollars, you just multiply your profit margin as a percent times your profit margin times your stake, and you get your profit margin in dollars. So long story short, 33.85 in profit margin on my 4 bets, which I've shown you all. I added them to the spreadsheet where I've been tracking, profit and loss. Hopefully we make money. Currently since the start of football season, we're up 42K. We took a big loss today because we had money on Kansas State point spread, but it's how it goes. Let's make money.